You have probably heard that faith works through love. This expression is found in Galatians chapter 5 verse 6, and it is often taught like this. In order for your faith to work, you need to walk in love toward God and other people. If your faith hasn't seemed to be working lately, the reason is probably that you haven't walked in love well enough. Maybe you are standing before a problem right now that has yet not been solved, although you have tried everything. Or maybe you have been praying for someone who didn't get healed, although you expected it. The message we often hear is, in order for your faith to work, you need to put in more effort to love God and love other people. You need to love better. We go out from our church services trying to do our best to love others, believing that our efforts to love will make our faith work. Unfortunately, this will not often lead to any lasting change, and after a while we will be back where we started, thinking, I need to love God and others more in order for my faith to work and be effective. But if we approach it this way, we are making love a work of the law, and teaching it like this totally goes against the real meaning and context in which Paul said it. Faith works through love is actually a statement from Paul in a context of telling the Galatians to get rid of old covenant mentality and teaching from their Christian lives. The Galatians had been deceived into believing that salvation was by grace, yes, but seeing God's power manifested depended on how well they kept the law. That is, how well they performed, how spiritual they were, or how much they measured up to a certain religious standard. Paul therefore wrote a letter to the Galatians to correct them. He said, "You foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? Did you receive the Spirit by keeping the law or by hearing and believing the gospel? You started in the Spirit by trusting in God's grace alone. Are you now going to end up in the flesh, trusting your own performance?" What then does the statement, faith works through love, mean? Well, the answer is very simple. The gospel is always simple, but religion tries to make things complicated. The word for love in the original Greek is agape. Agape means God's kind of love, not our human love. In other words, our faith works through God's love for us, not our love for Him. When we understand how much He loves us, the width, length, depth, and height, we will be full with all the fullness of God, and He will be able to do more than we can ask or think according to the power that works in us. Faith works when we realize how much we are loved by God and that this love is unconditional, not based on our performance. It is constant, no matter what circumstances we are facing at the moment. What then is the antidote when our faith doesn't seem to work? Simply to immerse ourselves in the love of God. The more we understand it, behold it, think about it, and thank God for it, the more faith works effortlessly and naturally in our lives. When we dwell on how much God loves us, we realize that if God is for us, who can be against us? No matter what we go through, no matter how challenging our circumstances are, nothing can separate us from God's unconditional agape love. A famous preacher once said, "When we see God's grace, He sees our faith." In other words, when we focus on God's unconditional love for us, our faith works effortlessly and as a natural byproduct.